Shipping can be complicated, and even a small mistake can end up being very costly. I sold an item once and I was off by 1 inch on the length, and the postage cost ended up being double what I expected. Today's session is to talk about some tools that might help you navigate this complicated space and to tell you how you may save time and money if you purchase your labels on eBay. Hi, I'm Kelly Jo McIntyre. I've been at eBay for 20 years and I joined the shipping team about 4 years ago.
Hi, I'm Zen. I have been with eBay for 8 years and I've been working on building shipping tools for sellers like you.
Now let's talk about what we're going to go over in today's session. First, I'm going to go over some of the many considerations that go into making decisions about shipping when you sell on eBay.
Then I will show you step by step how to buy eBay labels.
And then lastly, I'm going to go over some tips to help you avoid some of those common mistakes that we see. When selling on eBay, there's a lot of things to consider about shipping, both at the time that you're creating your listing and then again after your item sells. One of the first decisions you're going to make is how you want shipping to be displayed in the listing, essentially who will pay for it. Do you want to have flat shipping where you charge the exact same cost to the buyer regardless of where they are? Or maybe you want to use calculated shipping where it takes the buyer's location into consideration along with the weights and dimensions you put in the listing, and it will show the buyer the actual shipping cost. Maybe you want to show it as free shipping and you take the price of shipping as into consideration with the total price of the item. We're also going to ask you how quickly can you get it to the carrier. This is your handling time. And what services do you want to offer? Do you want to pick one service that you know that you're going to ship with, or do you want to offer the buyer some options so that they get to pick? Well, eBay provides a lot of tools to help you navigate some of these questions. One example is the eBay Shipping Calculator. The eBay Shipping Calculator allows you to put in the weights and the dimensions, and then it can show you a range that the shipping cost could be based on where maybe the buyer will be located. You can also see the retail rates that you would expect if you walked straight into the carrier and you purchased your label from them, or the discounted rates that you would find if you came to eBay and purchased your label on platform. And then after your item sells, more things to consider. How are you going to package your item so that it safely gets to the buyer? How do you want to get it to the carrier? Do you want to drop it off at the carrier, or do you want to schedule and have them come pick it up from you? Will it get to the buyer in time with the service that you're shipping with? How do you track it? How do you let the buyer know how to track it? And then finally, was the cost of shipping what you ultimately expected it to be? Well, a great tool after your item sells is eBay Label and Delivery Services. Here, you can purchase your eBay label on the platform, so you don't even have to leave. And it can save you time and money. Discounted rates from the major carriers can be found on the eBay Label platform. And because it's integrated into the platform, the tracking is automatically uploaded for you. So the buyer is going to see the most up-to-date information about when they can expect to get the item. You can either print the label and put it directly on the package, or you can have a QR code generated. A QR code generated will show the QR code on your mobile device. You walk the package into the carrier, and they'll print the label for you. It's great because you can even still take advantage of the eBay discounted rates when you use this. If you don't have a printer at home, this is a great solution. Or if you're like me and every time you go to print a label, the printer happens to be out of ink, QR codes are a great save in this space. You can print a single label, or if you had lots of cells the day before or the day you're printing, you can print in bulk and generate a scan form. A scan form allows the carrier to scan just one barcode so that all of your items are shown as accepted. This can save you time so that you're not at the counter scanning one package after another. And then on eBay, we have some proprietary services like eBay International Shipping. eBay International Shipping makes selling internationally as easy as it is domestically. There's a lot more about this in a session on Friday, so I'd encourage you to check it out. And then finally, we have eBay Standard Envelope. eBay Standard Envelope is a low-cost service that provides some tracking information so that the buyer can have some expectation of when to receive it. It's currently available for trading cards, stamps, postcards, coins, and paper money. Essentially, think of this as a great service where you maybe would have taken a plain white envelope and put a stamp on it. eBay Standard Envelope is a great option. Now, I'm going to hand it off to Zen, and he's going to show you how easy it is to print your labels on eBay.
For most sellers, this is the easiest way to get a shipping label. I'm here on my eBay sold page. And I can see someone has bought my very expensive ruby slippers. So I'm just going to click on Purchase Shipping Label, the big blue button on the right. And now I'm on the Single Shipping Labels tool. Immediately I can see the buyer's address and the package size I put in when I created the listing, and also that the buyer chose USPS Priority Mail. And eBay is telling me that I saved 33% off of the retail postage, which is great. And then I can also see that the label format is QR code, so I can save on my paper, which is great. And also, if you don't have a printer, you can also use that to get a label from the post office. Then I can see that I can pay with my sales proceeds, which means nothing actually comes out of my pocket. What I got from the buyer will pay for this label. So I'm going to choose that. So that was pretty easy. If everything is correct, I can just go ahead and purchase this label. But I remember that these slippers were pretty expensive. So I want to have a look if there are other options to give me more protection. So let me just click on More Options next to the shipping service. And I can see, okay, for Priority Mail, I get $100 included coverage, which is not bad. But let me have a look if there are other options. So apparently I can get more coverage for about $3. Let me have a look at what that's about. So if I choose ship cover insurance, I can actually cover my $200 worth of slippers if it gets lost or damaged. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. It's cheaper than the insurance from USPS. I'm going to choose QR code and keep the Your Funds option so that the money will come out of my sales proceeds, and purchase. Next, let me show you how to print more than one label at the same time. We'll need Seller Hub for this, so I'm on the Seller Hub landing page. For many of you who are already a big seller, you probably have done this, but it's pretty easy. When you're on the landing page, just click on the Start Using Seller Hub button. It's a one-button process. And then you're in Seller Hub. Immediately, I can see that I have 3 orders awaiting shipment. Let's have a look what they are. I see more slippers. So I actually want to ship all of them. So I'm just going to click on this box at the top and see that the shipping button above the box has become blue. So I'm just going to click on that, and that gives me the option to purchase shipping label. I click on that. Now I'm in the bulk shipping labels tool. First, it's telling me that I have 2 orders that I can combine because they're from the same buyer. That sounds pretty neat. So I'm going to click on that and see what happens. Yep, so the yellow and blue slippers are now in the same line. They are going to be shipped with just one label, and the tracking number will be uploaded for both items. So that's pretty cool, and it's going to save me some money. And I can also see that there's a print pick list option. I wonder what that is. It's a list of the shipments that I'm going to have and which items belong to each shipment so I can pick and pack and organize my process. Usually I would print this off as well, but I'm not going to do that today. Let's go back to the bulk tool and have a look at the shipments. And if I click on the service, I can actually compare all the different prices of the services. And I think I'm pretty happy. So just close that and click on the big blue button to review purchase. I see a list of shipping labels I'm buying. So this gives me a review. That looks good. I'm going to pay with my funds. And I see an option on the right to change paper size. Let's have a look. So if I had a label printer, I could choose to print my labels in 4x6, but I don't. So I'm going to keep the 2 labels per page so that I save some paper. Let's just save that. And confirm and pay. Now finally, I can also print USPS scan forms. This is especially useful when I have many shipments. The scan forms are organized by my ship from postcode and the shipping date. So as I print more labels on a given day, each scan form will contain more and more labels. Once I'm ready, once I've printed all the labels that I want to ship that day, I can generate the scan form. And this would be my scan form for today. It's only got 1 label, but imagine if you had hundreds of labels. And when you take this form to the post office, your postmaster can just scan this 1 barcode and accept all your packages. That saves you and the post office a lot of time. There you have it. Now you know how to easily ship 1 and 100 items on eBay. And I'm going to hand over back to Kelly Jo, who will give you some smart ship tips.
Thanks, Sen. So as promised, I'm going to share some tips with you about how to avoid some of the common mistakes that we see. Packaging matters. Scale weight is just as important as the dimensions of your package. Scale weight is how heavy is your package, while dimensional weight is how large is the package. And did you know that the carrier is going to charge based on whichever one is greater? So think of something light but large, like a pillow. A pillow weighs maybe 1-2 pounds, but it could be 25 inches, 30 inches. And in this case, you would take the length times the width times the height, and then you would divide by a dim factor. The dim factor can be different by carrier. It can be different based on where you purchase your label, but essentially in the case of a pillow, you could end up with it being at a 22-pound rate. So this light pillow that's 1 or 2 pounds, the carrier is actually going to charge based on it being a 22-pound item. Then there's lots of nuances. Like I said, the dim divisor may be different based on where you print your label. It could be different if you walk into the carrier. Some carriers only charge dimensional weight if it's over a cubic foot. Some add additional charges based on the longest length of your item. Good news, we do this for you on eBay Label Platform. All you have to do is you use the right size box, you package it safely, and then you input accurate dimensions and weight when you print your label. We always say a best practice is to round up. We'll do the calculation for you. We'll show you the rate that the carrier is actually going to charge you in postage. So I hope you got something out of this session today, but I'd like to leave you with 4 key takeaways. Use the eBay shipping calculator. It's a great tool to help you estimate what your cost might be when you don't even know where the buyer's located. And then choose the right shipping options for you, whether you want to offer free shipping, a flat rate to the buyer no matter where they are, or if you want to offer calculated shipping. Use eBay labels to save time and money, and then pack your items like a pro. Use the right size box, and then use accurate weights and dimensions. I want to thank you all for joining the session. I hope you got something out of it. Happy shipping.